guys, let's get started with the Gundam Base Limited Unicorn Perfectibility. The Unicorn Gundam, you've probably all seen. If you're watching this, you've probably seen this Gundam before. If you're an avid Gundam Gunpla builder, you've seen the Unicorn before. So I'm not going to transform him back into Unicorn mode, because y'all know what that looks like already probably. If you don't, you can just look it up yourself on YouTube. Look up the Gundam Unicorn unit. And so right off the bat, my biggest gripe with this is that when he's holding his Javelin, this hand comes off a lot. When you try to put this in there, it'll stay if you just hold it there, but this should be the last thing you put on when you're posing. Sometimes it is a little bit annoying to put on, if I'm being quite honest with you. Like it's being annoying right now. Just doesn't want to go on. Let's just take the hand off for a second here. Oh yeah, how about my whole setup? Okay, so yeah, this hand, when it's holding the Javelin, because the Javelin I guess is relatively heavy, comes off a lot if you're starting to pose it. So I'd say that's the last thing you should put on when you're posing it. My other gripes are that obviously because of all the equipment going on, there's going to be some difficulty posing sometimes. So for example, when he has this loaded back here where it's not in gun mode, and let's just take that off. Oh, now it doesn't want to come off. Now it just, there we go. So when you have this in gun mode, obviously it's no problem in laser mode, or beam mode. But when it's up here, obviously it gets obstructed by the back here, right? Obviously because of all the equipment that it has, you got the Phoenix shields here. Obviously because of all the equipment he has, he's going to be a little bit more troublesome to pose. I always have trouble with the knees with Unicorn units, having them look like they fit together. Like, you know, I try to push this out and then I just disconnect the thing, and my knees always kind of look like that. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong. But other than that, oh, I guess the other thing that I don't like is that this beam thing, I can't make him turn his, like he has a bicep swivel, but he's always going to be, this side is always going to be facing the same way as the joint, right? There's no way to make this turn, but make his joint stay there, if that makes sense, right? So it's always going to be bent like that. It's never going to have this like this way, and that, not a deal breaker by any means, just a minor inconvenience. And then this is a very standard Unicorn complaint, is that, as you can see, I use the Banshee Vfin. So that's what's kind of cool with this kit too, being, you know, as expensive as it is. It comes with a lot of the Banshee parts. So for example, you can put in the Banshee, like you can put in the blue piece there instead of this white piece. So it comes with some of the Banshee pieces if you want to make it look like the Banshee version of the Unicorn, but blue and white, which would be pretty cool. It'd be kind of cool to get another kit and just do that type of build. Although it's a very expensive kit, I don't know if I would do that. But if you want to do that variation, you can do that. But again, like a general Unicorn complaint that I have is I mean, it's a personal preference thing. I don't really like this kind of Vfin with the like it has all the cool details underneath. Like on the back side, you can see a little bit of it, but there's more details on the inside underneath the sticker. But when you put the sticker on, there's no details, and it just doesn't stick properly sometimes. Hard to get on. It's kind of like lumpy here and there, and it just doesn't look that cool to me. You know what I mean? Like even in the box art, if you can see up there, it doesn't even look that great. Like honestly, again, this is just a personal preference. I'm not a big fan of these Vfins for the Unicorn units, but that's just a general Unicorn complaint. This kit has like a lot of different weapon options and equipment options. So let's get these guys on. And so you saw in the earlier video, I had these detached from him and stuck on a third-party base thing that I got. And so there's this little back unit here. And this piece just plugs right into his back. I'm gonna angle them so they're not in the way. See what I'm saying? There's already so many pieces that this is getting a little bit hectic. So once you pose them, I'd probably just leave them there I wouldn't play with him much. He's not really a kit to be played with. Obviously, he's more of just a display piece. But yeah, okay, here's another example. So if you just plug them in like that, it looks kind of stupid because they're really high. But it gives you the option of plugging it in there too. So there's 2 holes you can try. And so these shields on the back, they have these 2 wires that go through that make this fully articulate. I can bend it however I want to. So I would say also just advice to not put this in too tightly, which will give it some slack. Like see how I have a little bit of slack here, so that it has more room to bend. Because if you have it fully tight in there and jam it in there as much as you can, then it won't, there's no flexibility with this, right? So when you're building yours, obviously just give it some slack. I mean, I really love this claw thing in terms of weapons, right? This claw thing is like definitely one of my favorite things. Like all of his weapons are really cool, right? Like this claw thing has the power down mode, like the close mode, and then you can open it up like that. You can open it up this way, just one way, right? Open up one side. Yeah. Right? You can have it in this kind of small mouth mode. I don't know what else to call it. Or you can push this out like that and have it in like a bigger attack mouth mode. But I think the Banshee has that one too. If you get that extra thing that comes with it, it has this, it's like the same thing. It also obviously does have the beam saber effect that all the unicorn units have. And then I just put in one of the blue beam saber pieces in there. Right, so I think that's actually really cool. I don't know if they intended you to do that, or if that's in any show or something or whatever, but that's a cool option, is that you can put that down like all the unicorn units. So with the beam rifle, beam blaster thing, it stores up there, and then when you want it to look like it's shooting, you can open that up like that. So that looks really cool. So when he is shooting it, it's got that cool blue effect part, right? So obviously I'm really loving the color of blue and white together, and aesthetically this thing is like really cool. This is like the coolest Gundam or Gunpla thing I've ever built. In terms of accessories, you get obviously the Javelin, and again this comes with a lot of options as well. So this is where he holds it, the handle, and you could plug it into 3 different parts, right? One up here, one up here, and one down here. So if you want him to hold it down here, right, or way up here when he's just chilling with it, right? So you have 3 different spots to put this handle thing in, which is cool. And then in terms of hands, you get 2 action hands, you get 2 shooty hands, or gripping holdy hands, and then 2 fists, obviously, right? So that's 6 hands, and then you get the standard unicorn beam rifle, and then you get 2 of these beam saber effect parts. I'm not really going to go over articulation because I think you guys can see, if you just look up real grade unicorn, I'm sure you'll find out the articulation of this kit already, except for the parts that I showed, right? Like this you can see on the Banshee unit, this you can see on the Phoenix, the gold one, but there's not like a ton going on here, right? There's open mode, and then there's like close mode, right? You can close these, and that's pretty much all the articulation there. Oh, that's another thing. See, his head's falling off right now. Is that the head connection is actually not amazing, in my opinion. Like, it's not even that the ball is too small, I don't think. Maybe it is, but head's a little loose. I might put some super glue on that. And then this backpack part also has a lot of articulation, which is really useful as well. So you can see all these little options. You have to bend and turn which direction you want to go with that, right? So there's a lot of articulation in this piece here. Yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much it for the review. So other than that, other than those little gripes that I said about the head's a little bit loose, and then I don't like the V, and then this getting in the way sometimes, like obviously when I'm trying to pose this, this gets in the way of these things, or these get in the way of this thing moving, so his arm gets in the way. And then the Javelin not always being held properly, because look, his hand already keeps falling. Other than that, I mean, this is the coolest kit you could probably buy, in my opinion. Obviously, that's very subjective, but this is like the coolest real grade, the coolest kit I've ever built, and it's the coolest thing. Like, this is my favorite thing right now. I almost want to make an Instagram page just posing this kit in different ways. That's how cool it is. If you want one, they might be kind of hard to find soon, but I would suggest Side 7 exports. If you're trying to get your hands on one, I'd say you got to get one soon. I don't know if they'll sell out anytime soon, but this is definitely the coolest kit on the market, in my opinion, in the 1 to 144 scale. And I haven't even decaled it yet. Anyway, for all your Gundam needs, check out Show Me What You Bought, and his website is ibuildrobots.ca. And you can use the promo code KurtDC12, so KurtDC12, on the website ibuildrobots.ca. So if you guys are looking for anything Gundam, check them out. Thanks for watching, guys. I will catch you guys in the next video.